She didn't just sing. She shaped an era, redefined fame, and built an empire from the ground up. Diana Ross isn't just one of the most iconic voices in music history. She's a mystery wrapped in glamour, ambition, and controversy. From humble beginnings in Detroit to standing toe-to-toe with music moguls, her journey has been anything but predictable. But for all the fame, there's still so much the public doesn't know. And what's behind her carefully curated image might just shock you. Because while the world saw a dazzling star, what they didn't see were the power plays, personal struggles, and whispers that followed her every move. The true story of Diana Ross isn't just about her voice. It's about resilience, reinvention, and a legacy still shaped by secrets. And once you see what really happened behind the scenes, you'll never look at her the same way again. Before the spotlight, there was a teenage girl with fashion dreams, sketching designs in a classroom in Detroit. Diana Ross attended Cass Technical High School, studying tailoring and pattern making, planning to be a designer, not a diva. But her real education happened in the church pews and street corners, where she honed her voice and ambition. By 15, she joined the Promettes, a girl group nobody took seriously at first. That didn't stop her from pushing forward. She used every connection, even Smokey Robinson, to get their foot in the door at Motown. And once they were in, Ross made sure they didn't leave empty-handed. She and the group volunteered in studios, clapping on background tracks, doing whatever it took to stay visible. In 1961, their persistence paid off. Motown signed them under one condition: they had to change their name. And when Barbara Martin left the group a year later, it left Ross front and center with Mary Wilson and Florence Ballard. The Supremes were born, and history would never forget them. With 12 chart-topping hits and a style that helped define the 60s, they weren't just stars, they were a movement. Diana Ross leaving the Supremes wasn't just a career move. It was a calculated leap into total stardom. Her first solo album delivered instant success with hits like Ain't No Mountain High Enough and Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand. But behind the glamour was a silent power shift. In 1980, after 2 decades with Motown, she walked away with a $250,000 severance check and shocked the industry by signing a record-breaking $20 million deal with RCA. It was the most expensive recording contract of its time, and proof that Ross didn't just want the spotlight. She wanted full control. But her personal life told a Messier story. Her relationship with Motown CEO Berry Gordy led to a secret: their daughter Rhonda, born while Diana was already married to another man. Robert Silberstein raised Rhonda as his own, despite knowing she wasn't biologically his. Then came headlines she couldn't control. In 2002, Ross was arrested for a DUI while in rehab. The public fallout clashed hard with her polished image. And yet, she kept going, dodging scandals, managing perceptions, and always moving forward. Because in Diana Ross's world, image wasn't just important, it was everything. Diana Ross's personal life was as layered as her career. Her first marriage to music executive Robert Silberstein gave her 2 daughters, Tracy and Chudney, and a peaceful facade. But beneath it all was a family dynamic shaped by silence, as Rhonda, her eldest, was born from her relationship with Berry Gordy just months before the wedding. Still, Silberstein raised Rhonda as his own. Years later, Ross fell for Gene Simmons of Kiss, but that relationship flamed out fast. Then came Arne Ness Jr., a Norwegian shipping magnate who seemed like her perfect match. They married in 1986 and had 2 sons, Ross, Arne, and Evan. But the fairy tale didn't last. Rumors of infidelity rocked their marriage, and by 2000 it ended in divorce. Tragedy struck just 4 years later when Ness died in a mountain climbing accident in South Africa. Yet, through every heartbreak, Ross remained the nucleus of a growing, multi-generational family. Her son Evan married singer Ashlee Simpson, and Diana became step-grandmother to Ashley's child with Pete Wentz. She watched as her children stepped into the spotlight on their own terms. Even offstage, Diana Ross knew how to shape a legacy through her kids, her wealth, and a quiet sense of control that never faded. In a world where fame fades fast, Diana Ross built something far more powerful: permanence. From chart-topping hits to major motion pictures, she didn't just adapt to every decade, she defined them. With over 90 singles, more than 20 albums, and awards spanning generations, she's more than a performer. She's a cultural force. And yet, for all her success, the real genius may be in how she managed to stay mysterious, private, and in control in an industry designed to break people. Today, with a net worth of $250 million, a Connecticut estate worth millions, and a garage full of luxury cars, Ross lives like royalty, but never acts like it. She's donated to charities, spoken out when it mattered, and continued to tour into her 70s. But the one thing she's never done is let the world fully in. And maybe that's the secret. Diana Ross didn't just survive the spotlight, she mastered it. And after more than 50 years, one thing's still true. We're all still watching.